There we go. I am fired up to talk about goals today. It is Q3 here in 4 days. 4 days. So today's Thursday. So starting on Monday at 8 a.m., Q3 starts. So we're going to talk about why you want to hit your goals for this quarter, but also really crush it for next quarter. And I'm going to show you how to fill out your VPF. So this is going to be a lot of how to do certain things. We're also going to talk a little bit about the why. I really want you to think just for a few seconds of what do you want to be, do, and have by the end of summer. So the end of Q3 is right at the end of summer. Okay, so Q3 is going to be from about mid-June all the way through mid-July, August, so about the middle part of September. So right whenever it's transitioning into fall. So what do you want to be, do, or have by the end of summer? So come mid-September, kids are back in school, it's back to football season, whatever it is for you. What kind of person do you want to be professionally and personally? What are some things that you would want to do? And just know this, Q3, we have a monster incentive trip coming up for Q3, biggest one of the year. So that's one really cool trip that you got to really tell your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, that you're 100% going to be there and taking them with you. What are some things that you would want to have by the end of the quarter? Maybe you've been waiting to get your kitchen renovated. Maybe you really want to buy a golf cart or whatever it is, so you can drive around your property. Whatever it is for you, order some things that you may want to have by the end of summer that can really just push you to work harder this quarter in Q3. So it's always cool just to write down a couple of things. What kind of person do you want to be? Not just, as a salesperson, but also as a human. What kind of person do you want to do? Physical health, mental, spiritual. What are some things that you would want to do? Maybe having that one cool little trip that you can take. It doesn't have to be like a full, 1 or 2 week vacation. It can just be a quick little beach trip, 4-day weekend, wherever it may be. But what are some things that you're working for coming up in Q3? What are maybe some things that you want to have? What is one cool thing that you'd want to buy for yourself, or maybe pay something off by the end of a certain quarter? Have that big loan that you're like, man, I'm going to get this loan knocked out by the end of Q3. But that's what I got to do to do it. So you just want to make sure you write down things so you can have that vision heading into a quarter. So we heard this from Darren Woodson. This was either last year in Dallas or the year before, but we had Darren Woodson, who was like one of the best NFL players of all time, played for the Cowboys. And he said this to all of Family Heritage at the mid-year meeting. And he says, it is just a wish. Your dreams are just a wish until they are written down. Your dreams are just a wish until they are written down. You must have a plan, especially at the start of every single quarter. Because if you don't do your goals, who else is going to do them for you? Because you're running your own business. These next 3 months are honestly the most important 3 months of your entire life. You must clear the decks with yourself, your family, and your focus needs to be on maximizing the quarter to the best of your ability. Statistics show every single year that you are way more likely to achieve your goals in life if you plan out ahead of time and write them down. Not just your goals as a professional, but your physical success, your health, your financial success, saving money, investing money, your spiritual success. And of course, as being a professional agent here with Family Heritage, your goals are going to be 97% more likely to be achieved if you actually write them down and plan them out ahead of time. And I understand they don't really teach you a lot of goal setting in high school, definitely not really in college for stuff like this. You learn this here. I learned how to goal set here, Family Heritage, from Van Davenport. So, and it's very important that you have to invest time in yourself when nobody's around you to plan your upcoming weeks and your upcoming quarter. And I already kind of know, when I'll be away, for Q3. So I've already kind of put that in my VPF. Obviously, we got the Dallas mid-year meeting. That's going to be right there at the very beginning. So you can kind of plan that in the week So you already kind of know if you're going to be at the midyear meeting, that's a 2-day work week because we'll be gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for Dallas for the midyear meeting. So I'm going to work super hard that week on Monday and Tuesday, just understanding. And then I have a growth council meeting that I'll be at for 3 days at the end of the quarter. So I know that week I'm going to have another 2-day work week in the office. So whatever it is for you, just go ahead and know exactly where your upcoming trips are going to be, what time. That way you can plan that effectively into your quarterly VPF. So another couple things before we get started on showing you guys how to do your goals for the quarter. But I am just so excited because the purpose of today is just to show you how to maximize and hit your goals for the quarter. It's 13 weeks that starts on Monday. And this business, I love it because you can always just reset, boom, and just get refocused at the start of a brand new quarter. Whether this quarter was awesome for you, low average, or very mediocre, this gives you a great refresh button and just get really dialed in on improving in certain areas. You're able to look at your canvassing chart to see what went well this past quarter and what didn't go well. And overall for the year, what your statistics are for the year, how many hours you work for the year, how many demos you've done so far this year, what your hour to demo ratio is, what is the average transaction size that you have whenever you get a family protected. If it's at 1,000 or above, that's good. That means it's probably a little bit above average. If it's below that, no big deal. Well, we can make adjustments. What your closing percentage is, even what your contact closing percentage is. So what's the percentage of you walking in cold to sell a business? How many demos that you're closing? If you sit down with 6 people, how many of those 6 are you closing right now? So at the end of each quarter, you can really take an audit of the business. That way you can level up in certain areas. If you're getting tons of demos, if you're getting your 6 or 7 demos every single day, but your closing percentage is only 10%, then you really need to work on your introduction and slowing it down and tailor the demo to that person. And you really need to get on board with your sales talk. If you have a 30% closing percentage, but you're only getting 3 demos a day, you don't have a sales issue, you have a demo issue. So making sure that you can understand for your business, once you've been here for 1 or 2 months, you've got enough data to kind of look at to see what you're doing well and what needs to be worked on. You don't have to worry about anybody else, nobody else's situation. You just have to worry about your own situation. But you also got to understand, whenever you audit yourself, are you looking at your numbers? Are you being the best version of yourself? Are you truly doing your best, really? Because if you're not, you're missing out on all that life has to offer, what this career has to offer. So here, I love goal setting because it doesn't just help me get hyper focused on results in the business, but also focus on results outside of family heritage as well. Okay. So from a physical standpoint, mental standpoint, relationships with your family, the whole 9 yards, having goals in every different arena in your life, because that's what truly matters. Okay. Because it's important to also have a good personal life. Because if you have a good personal life, generally that bleeds over to your professional life as well. Okay. So first off, I'm going to go to the email that Nicole Danwood sent. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see? This is the email that Nicole Danwood sent last week. It was on Friday afternoon, right at 1:34. So everybody in Schneider should have got this email. Whenever you do this, this is super simple. All you have to do is click on that VPF, that little red link right there. So click on that. And this is exactly what's going to come up on your screen. Now we shift gears. Boom, here we go. This is exactly what it looks like whenever you click on that red link. Now, when this comes up, this is just the practice template. This is not a template you can actually edit. This is the master copy. So what you have to do to make your own personal copy, that way you can actually edit, put your numbers in. If you haven't done this already, some of you guys already have your VPF saved from last quarter, and it just kind of goes quarter over quarter over quarter. It's already got all the tabs at the very bottom. But if this is your very first time, you're going to hit File, Make a Copy. So hit File, Make a Copy, and boom, that's going to give you, this is what it's going to give you, is your own personal copy. That way you can edit and fill the numbers out for yourself. And you can put the name up here of your name. You know, you can obviously edit this at the very top, put in, you know, Victoria Powers 2023 VPF, you know, whatever you want to call it, right? And then at the very bottom, it's got all the tabs for the different quarters. So here's Q1, here's Q2. Obviously, we're going to be starting Q3. So you would go over to Q3, and there's 3 tabs for Q3 that you need to fill out. Okay, the first one that I'm going to show you how to fill out is the CFI. So this is the CFI right here. It's kind of what it looks like. Okay. If you can't see this, let me know. Just want to make sure everybody can see this, okay? And so I'm going to show you guys how to put the numbers in your canvassing chart to your CFI right now. So I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm going to use Win Underwood's canvassing chart. Okay. We always pick on rookies whenever we're doing goal setting, and he's a good rookie. So this is Win's canvassing chart. Okay. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see his canvassing chart? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it, Kyle.
Okay. So Win's canvassing chart. It's a good canvassing chart to replicate. I highly recommend replicating his canvassing chart, ladies and gentlemen. So just watch. This is a copy and paste business. Literally, if you copy the activities that Win did the last 3.5 months he's been here, you're going to get really good results, my friend. So make sure that you copy and paste. You're going to take a screenshot like, I'm going to do the exact amount of hours and demos that he did, and man, I'm going to get really good results too. Well, check this out. So far for the year, he started here in March. So just a few months ago, he's already worked 587 hours and 434 demos. So the first thing that you have to know is your hours to demo ratio. So what you do is you take 587, the amount of hours that you have, and divide that by the total amount of demos. He's got 434 demos. He's at 1.35. So his hours to demo ratio is at 1.35. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to my VPF CFI. And this is what it looks like. I kind of went ahead and did this morning to kind of prep for today's call. So right here where you see hours to demo, it says you would just put in 1.35 if that is yours. Some of you guys, it may be 1.4. Some of you guys, it may be 1.5. It may be 1.8 for certain people. The higher the number is, the worse it is. So you want that number to be as low as possible. Anything that's 1.5 or lower is solid. That means that you have a solid hours to demo ratio. If it's above that, you want to get it lower down to 1.5 or lower. When he makes things happen, he gets his demos in every day. That's why his is low at 1.35. Awesome job, Win. Up here, your contract level, you're just going to put in the current contract level that you're at right now. Some of you guys are at 50% contracts because you've been here for a while. You've generated over $300,000 worth of premium. So some of you guys at 45, 40. I put 40 down. Our average agent is about between like a 40 to 45% contract. I just use 40 for simplicity. And then here you will put down your renewal, the second box, your renewal calculation. And this is really simple. If you're at a 30-1 contract or 35-1, because you're brand spanking new, you would put down 0.09 in this box. But if you're at a 40% contract or 45, you would put 0.18 into that box. That's called the renewal rate. This will calculate how much money you're making off residual income long term, which is awesome. If you're at 50-3 contract, you put 0.27 if you're at 50-3, 3% renewals. And if you're at market director, 0.36. If you're at regional, it's 0.45. Okay. And this is your average, this third box is your average transaction annual premium. This just means how much premium is your average client. So Wins, and it tells you on your canvassing chart, Wins is 1,029. If you scroll down here to the right, see where it says average transaction. His average transaction is about $1,029. So his average client, so if you do 1,029, divide that by 12 months, his average client spends about $85 a month on insurance, which is about the average. The average is last year was about 84, so he's right at the average mark. Awesome job, Win. And his closing percentage, check this out. Win's closing percentage is 30%, 30.65%. Okay, so you put these numbers on your VPF right here. So I put 30%. I actually lowballed a little bit. Instead of putting 30.6, I just put 30%. So he closes about 1 out of 3 people that he sits down with, just a little bit less. And his average transaction, I put that right here at 1,029. And this is his hours of demo ratio, 1.35 that we calculated earlier. So these are the most important things on the VPF, because everything is kind of calculated once you put these numbers in correctly. If you want to take a screenshot, make sure that you put yours in correctly. Or if you have a question on how to find these, ask for a trainer or leader in their Voxer chat. But your canvassing chart is found on the Legacy Stats site. Does this make sense to people so far? Is everybody kind of following me so far?
Yep.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then next part is pretty simple. And this is when the fun part really happens. Okay, so I just use this is like an example for you guys. Okay, so I put this. So on this column right here, it says weekly cash flow needed and wanted. So you just put down how much cash you want deposited into your checking account on a weekly basis. You know, and this is after advances. So after you get, most people on here are actually on 70% advance, which is awesome, because if you started here within the last year or so, if you started before then, you're probably at a 60% advance. Okay, but this is calculated actually at a 60% advance rate for the old schoolers. So actually, some of you guys will be receiving more money than this if you're at a 70% advance rate. If you're newer. But if you wanted $2,000 in your checking account and you have wins exact data, you got a 40% contract. Your average sale is about $85 a month. You have a 30% closing percentage, and you have a 1.35 hours of demo. So if Win wanted to go make $2,000 this week, starting next week, the week of June 19th, Win would need to work 36 hours if he wanted to make $2,000 in his checking account. He would need to sit down with 27 people and have 8 families protected for about $8,300 premium. And right over here in the second green box, this is the significance of what that cash will do for your family. Like, what are you going to use that money for? So I just kind of made this up. I put, mortgage payment, car payment, but make it specific for you. In the next month, or not next month, next week, which is the week of June 26th, let's say you want to make $1,800 because you want to put some money into your savings and some money for your Roth IRA, because you can put $600, right about, $6,000 a year into your Roth IRA, trying to cap that out. You would need to work 33 hours that week to get 24 demos to cash flow $1,800. That's not a bad gig. You can cash flow $1,800 in your checking account by working 33 hours. Most jobs you can't do that, especially if you've only been there for 3 months. But let's stay on the train war coming up, which is called Legends Week. This is the week after we get back from Dallas. He wants to make $3,000 in his checking account. He would need to sell 12,500 premium. He would need to have 12 clients, do 40 demos, and work 55 hours to do that. Hey, 1 week a month, I can go work 55 hours 1 week a month to pay pretty much all my bills for the month. Heck yeah, who would not want to do that? Get ahead. So you want to put why these bills are important for you and why paying them is in this box, and you want to put the, how much money you want to make in your checking account in this box. It's very, 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 very simple. And you can kind of play around with this, but be realistic. So I put right here, this is the week that we're going to Dallas, July 3rd. Win only has a 2-day work week because he's going to be in Dallas, Texas with us. So, I put 1,000. I didn't put like $5,000 right there because he's not going to be able to work, 60, 70 hours a week. So I put something that's very realistic. He can definitely go work 18 hours the week in Dallas because he only has 2 days. He can definitely get 13 demos on Monday and Tuesday and write $4,100 in premium for sure. And that will still cash flow him $1,000 in his checking account after 2 days of work before he flies out to Dallas, Texas. Okay, so make sure you just make it, if you know that you have your best friend's getting married, you've got a bachelor party set up, whatever it is, and you're going to be gone 3 days, just understand that week, don't plan on working 60 hours that week because you're not going to, right? Just be very realistic whenever you plan this and think of this. And this will force you to think about what your quarter is going to look like. Okay. And then at the very bottom, what you can do is plug these numbers in over here. So this is my personal Q3 VPF. So I have all the hours I'm going to work on a weekly basis up here. Okay, so I know next week I am fully committing to minimum of 55 hours of work next week. Okay, minimum of 55 hours. Okay, that's about what I average on a week-by-week basis. The week after that is a Q2 incentive trip, so I'll only put 45 hours. So I'll be taking a day to hang out with all the people who earned that Q2 lake house trip. I won't be working as much that week. And the week after that is Dallas. So I put in 18 hours right there because I'll be going to Dallas with you guys. The week after that, train more, minimum 50 hours that week in the field, 55 hours next week, 55 hours, 55. So just knowing that your plan is going to be different than my plan, but just everybody, you just kind of put your numbers into the VPF and then you track it. Okay. And I'll show you guys what my VPF for Q2 kind of looks like. So I know by filling out my VPF every single week, exactly where I'm ahead and behind of my goals. Okay. So, you know, this, we're actually a little bit behind, like personally for me, for my goals for Q2, we're a little bit behind on what I envisioned us to hit. But my goals was for us to have 550 submitting agents. Right now we're at 515, but we're actually on 9 people ahead on track than what I originally set out for the goal. The premium a little bit lower. I envisioned us to hit 1.7 million in premium. We're only at about 1.416. We can still finish strong with a big week this week, definitely over 1.5, which would still be a solid quarter. And then recruits, the goal was at 35, and we have 29, but that's still not bad. You know, after that, we still got this week to go, so we'll definitely get a few more recruits this week. So we'll be very close to that goal whenever it's all said and done. And then here were my personal goals that I had before Q2 started. Number one is continue to work out 5 days a week. Hiking more this spring and buy a mountain bike. I did hike a lot this quarter, but I didn't buy a mountain bike. And then also investing more into property and real estate. Sarah and I did get some land up there in the mountains. Well, that was, you know, at the very beginning of the quarter. But yeah, so just making sure it's really cool whenever you write these things down. And then you're looking at the end of the quarter, like, man, I actually did that or I didn't do that. Like, I still need to buy a mountain bike because I promised a lot of my friends I'd be mountain biking with them. Still haven't done it. And then here are your business goals. You know, keep skilling up my leaders. You know, work my hours and continue on a beast mode schedule. You know, clear 1.7 million and have the best quarter for 7 consecutive quarters so far. So it's really cool to look at your goals at the end of a quarter and seeing where you're ahead and behind on your goals. And then if you have one person on your team, you also need to fill out this third tab, which is called the team tab. So here are my goals for Q3. Let me let this person in the waiting room. So here are my personal goals for Q3 as a leader for you guys. My goal is for our agency to have 586 submitting agents. You know, we're not going to write 1.7 million this quarter in Q2, but for sure we're going to knock that out of the park in Q3. Okay, definitely 1.7 million is bare minimum because we have a sweet incentive. You guys will hear about that on Monday. And then the recruits, we're going to get 35 recruits this quarter, be our best recruiting quarter of all time. So super pumped about that. And I know that was a lot of information. Any questions or comments so far? Any questions or comments so far? I think you're muted, Brady.
Sorry. So guys, this was something in the beginning that I was not very eager to do. One of the reasons I wasn't so eager to do it is because I just didn't understand it. I'm put way too much thought in like figuring the numbers out. But once I did it, I hit my goals. So it's really important. Don't be scared to do this. Sit down and think about it. You know, looking at like I'm looking at mine right now. Our team is up by $19,000. Now, for me personally, I'm down by 37,000, but I know exactly where I am. And I can also look and say, well, I didn't work as many hours as I said I was going to, but this is so awesome just to look at. I look forward to Monday nights when the final numbers come out. I look forward to going in here and plugging it in. And so if there's anyone that needs help with it, obviously reach out to your team leader. But if there's something I can do to help you, goal setting is something that I really like to do now because I understand it and I can visualize and see better with it. But like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to do it. I was scared to. But don't be scared, because it's super awesome when you can celebrate the things that you did well on.
Brady, thank you. Hey guys, I'll just say this. It's fun looking at your canvassing chart and just seeing, like, circling one or two things that you're really going to dial in and work on. So if your closing percentage was, say, like 15% this last quarter, don't beat yourself up. Be like, hey, this quarter, I'm going to have at least a 25% closing percentage because I'm going to level up. I'm going to get better at this. So just investing time in yourself is critically important. Okay, and you guys, these do need to be done by Monday morning at 8 a.m. So if you start doing them and you have questions, the most important thing is just go ahead, you know, today and get, at least if you haven't done this already, get the first couple weeks done today. That way, over the weekend, it's easy to get the rest of it, because just getting started is the hard part. Just get started, get thinking, and then it gets kind of fun. You know, create your own goals for yourself, and then you can let your family know what your goals are as well for the quarter. Do have. What are the what are some things that you want to do, you know, this quarter? What are some cool things that you plan on doing this quarter? What is the type of person that you want to be by the end of Q3? So at the end of summertime, right when we're transitioning into the fall, what are some things that excites you from a physical standpoint, mental, emotionally, just professionally? What are some things financially? What is the type of person that you want to be? By the end of Q3, I'm going to have a 30% closing percentage. And this is why. Just writing out things inspires you. And it's just a wish until it's written down. And what are some things that you want to have? What are some things that you want to have? You're in a business that you 100% control the cash flow that comes into your checking account. You are in control, not the economy, not me. You are in control of what comes into your checking account, and which is very exciting. So if you got that number that you're looking for in Q2, it's because you did the activities. Okay. If you probably didn't hit that number in Q2, I guarantee you we can look at your activity chart. You definitely didn't work the activities in order to hit those goals. You didn't follow through. So this is critically important. Let's get these all done by Monday at 8 a.m. You guys, we're going to have a crushing Q3. It's going to be the best quarter of all time by far. And let's get excited. And it starts, if you want to have a monster start to Q3, it really comes down to what do you do? If you want to have a big week next week, you have to get started working hard this week and get super focused, because it's how you start one thing is how you finish the thing prior. So if you finish this quarter strong, you're going to have a lot of momentum. Momentum is a real thing in business, in a life, and in sports. Momentum is very powerful, but you got to get it going. So let's go get it going today, guys. If you have any questions about anything, just shoot me a Voxer, guys. And when you get done with your VPF, make sure you share it with your coaches. All you have to do to share VPF, let me show that real quick, is this. So here's my VPF. You just hit share up here at the top right. Just hit share, and then you just put in the email addresses of the people that you want to share it with. You just click on this, and then you would just type in their email, the people that you want to share it with. Share it with me and your direct leader, and everybody that's in your hierarchy. Okay, so that way we can hold you accountable. So, all right, guys. Well, that is pretty much what we have for today. Thanks for coming on and investing in yourself. It is Thirsty Thursday, best day of the week. Let's go make it happen today. Now, make sure that we leave everybody in better mood than you met them. Meet somebody sharp, send them out a link, because we are hiring right now. We're going to have lots of people who are coming aboard in Q3 who are friends of y'all. And this is exciting stuff. Working with your friends, working with your family is awesome. And if you meet a super stud out there in the field, let's make sure that we open our mouth and tell them about the opportunity that we're hiring right now. Okay, so let's go there. Let's have a fast start to Q3, and it starts today. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a great rest of your Thursday, guys.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.